Franklin Stage Company was founded in 1996 and resides in Chapel Hall, built in 1853 as part of the Delaware Literary Institute on Institute Street in Franklin. For over 20 years, Franklin Stage Company has produced classically inspired works. Actors, directors, designers, and creative staff work at top theaters and festivals around the world and have helped to make Franklin Stage Company the only fully professional theater in Delaware County. Franklin Stage Company is an admission-free theater, but donations are gratefully accepted.
We begin our look at the economic impact of the arts here in Delaware County, and we're at the Franklin Stage Company, and I'm joined today by Leslie Noble, Patricia Buckley, who are the co-creative directors,
co-artistic directors.
Thank you very much. Co-artistic directors of the Franklin Stage Company here on Institute Street in Franklin. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Tell us about the Franklin Stage Company. How did it get to where it is today?
Well, it's a long story. Franklin Stage Company was began in 1997 in this beautiful building, which was originally the Delaware Literary Institute, part of the Delaware Literary Institute, built in 1853. Then was a Masonic temple for about 100 years.
Okay.
And then the building was purchased by the Marner family with a couple other friends. And they founded the Franklin Stage Company in 1997. So this is our 26th season.
Wow. Now, you both came on the scene about 5, 6, 7 years ago?
2017.
2017.
So, yeah, this is our sixth year producing here.
And what we see, we're sitting on the stage. You just wrapped up your first production of the 2022 season.
That's right.
Two Gentlemen of Verona.
Yep.
And you'll be gearing up for that next production. Let's talk a little bit about the season, because I'm sure folks want to know what productions are coming up. So let's talk about those first, and then let's talk a little bit about like I said, the impact of the economic impact of what you've seen here in Franklin because of the Stage Company. So what's coming up?
Well, the next thing is this weekend coming is Vicky Cristina Barcelona Band. They're
They're fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 women
Yes.
multi-instrumentalists who play the Tom Waits songbook. And they're amazing. We're really psyched to have them for 4 nights. Then next weekend, we open Flamenco Vivo Carlotta Santana, which is a 3-night only dance company from New York. They're at the Joyce Theater right now.
Wow.
And then they're coming here. So we feel very, very lucky to have them. They're one of the premier flamenco and Spanish dance companies in the country.
And those dates are going to be when? That the flamencos.
July 29th,
Thank you.
30th, and 31st.
Great.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And
Then we open our final produced show, which is called Ricktop, Legend of the Jazz Age. And that is the story of Ada Smith. She was a vaudeville performer at the turn of the century, born in the Jim Crow South, West Virginia, and she played Harlem, she played the clubs in Chicago, Los Angeles, and then she moved to Paris and opened a nightclub that became the toast of the town. So all the famous expats, John Steinbeck and Ernest Hemingway, and I believe the Prince of Wales, all those folks frequented her club, and she was the toast of the town. And then from there, her story gets even more interesting. So she tells her story and sings songs from the era,
From that era.
Accompanied by a 3-piece band that will be led by Tim Iverson, who's a wonderful jazz musician and also, I believe, the band director at Cooperstown High School.
Oh, great.
Yes, and we'll have a bassist and a drummer as well.
Oh, he's fabulous. I've
Yes,
seen him
yes,
perform.
he's
I think
awesome.
here.
Yes, he was in Billy
Bishop
Bishop Goes to War.
Yes,
Played
yes,
the
yes.
piano
Yes.
and played the character who plays
He
the
was
piano.
great.
He's
Yes.
really wonderful. We're so
And-
lucky to have him.
That starts rehearsal on Tuesday, and that will be directed by Rodney Hudson, who is a a colleague of mine from Syracuse University Department of Drama.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Great. Now, you have, this is professional theater, we should note.
That's right. We're an equity theater, an equity actors association, which is the professional theater for actors and stage managers.
The union.
The union. All of our actors, or most of our actors, come from the Actors Equity Union and our stage managers. Yeah.
And you have a different model than most theaters for attendance and for admission. Why don't you tell everyone about what that is?
Yes, we like to call ourselves the NPR of theaters. We do not charge admission, but we pass the hat at the end, and we ask for donations.
Quite literally, pass the hat at the end.
Quite
We have lots of
literally.
hats in the back.
Whole hats, yes. And we also have a link when people sign up to get tickets that they can put their money in the hat ahead of time if they want to go to our website and donate. And we take donations throughout the year. We write grants. We have some government support, and a lot of local people support us and are happy that we're here. And so we feel like between what other theaters have to do, papering the house for opening nights, giving away free tickets, having friend and family rates, doing 2-for-1s, we're at about the rate that you would pay for a ticket in this area without having to ask or saying to people, if you want to give, give. If you can't afford to give, you're still welcome here. If you can afford to give, please give generously and maybe make up for somebody who can't, but would still like to see the shows.
Now, one of the questions I always ask, one of the things that just fascinates me, is how you came to this point in your journey. How did you come to Franklin Stage? How did you come to Franklin? How did you come to Delaware County? What's your stories?
Well, I think our stories are a little different. I used to come to the Franklin Stage in the very first 2-3 years because many of my friends were in the original acting company of the theater, and I just would come up to see my friends in shows and stay, and I fell in love with the area. And then I did a show here in 2005, and then I stayed more, and I bought a house in the area, and I was on the board of the Franklin Stage. And then when the transition came in 2017, I called Leslie because we had worked a lot together, and she lives in Syracuse, and she had worked here in 2015 directing some readings, so she was a little bit familiar with the theater and had come to some shows.
Yeah, I would come to see Pat.
Yeah, and the first year we were just trying to say, let's see if we can get the theater through the summer this year, and then it went very well, so we stayed on.
Yeah.
Leslie?
Yeah, that's how it went. I got a call from Pat in that winter saying, it was interesting because it's kind of the founders, what I've heard people call the founders syndrome, when a very spirited, passionate person or group of people found an artistic enterprise, and they just give all of their life's blood to it. When they decide to leave, sometimes it's difficult to transition because people have been very used to them taking care of everything. And so
It wasn't just artistic endeavors that happens too.
yes, all of the business end and all of the major decisions. And so the board at the time, when the artistic director of the time, she was the daughter of the founders, herself a founder, I would say, Carmela Marner, decided to step down. The board was a little overwhelmed. What are we going to do? We've always had the Marners. How will we do this?
Sure.
So that's when Pat said, I think with a little bit of help, let's see
I had an idea.
Let's see if we can get it through the summer. So we made a presentation to the board, and we said, this is what we think we can do, and this is what we think the budget will look like, and we can make some calls. We have some friends who owe us favors, and so put together a season and got through that summer very well. So we were able to, with the support of the board, continue and grow our fundraising and our grant writing and our support from the community.
And this has been a difficult couple years. So I congratulate you for having a full 2022 season indoors.
Thank you.
Here in the
Yes.
house.
Yes.
But tell me a little bit about what that last couple of years have been like.
Whew.
You went to some outdoor performances.
We did.
last year.
I think all the theaters in the country did that. All the summer theaters
Yes,
in the country
I think so too.
went to that model. Unfortunately, it was a very rainy summer, if you recall.
I do.
We did not have a roof over that stage.
Yeah, so I would say that, definitely it was very challenging, on top of the just trying to determine what kind of programming we could do. Would people come? How can we keep them safe? We also had protocols from the union about how to do that.
Yeah.
And you might remember that the pandemic was waning in the early part of last summer, and then the Delta variant, I think, started to hit, and so things shifted to get that. Every week it was a different sort of set of guidance. So that was also really tough. But on the plus side, we were able to take advantage of the PPP, the Payroll Protection Program, and we did get funding that was forgiven. So it was a loan that was forgiven, I believe.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that became funding, and that really, boy, that helped see us through. And we had a few very generous donors who also knew it was going to be challenging, and also increased
helped.
their contribution, which
Wonderful.
again.
And we always said to our donors, even in 2020,
Right.
we're going to do all we can. So the first year, we did some little short soliloquy pieces, and we took care of the building, which is another part of our mission, is to care for this beautiful architectural gem. So we replaced the porch. We did big projects that would have been difficult to do with an audience coming up. And we did those little soliloquy pieces and put them on our website, and people would watch them and donate.
Great.
Because we thought one actor, everybody in the crew can wear a mask, but the two actors don't have to be talking to each other. And then last year we did the outdoor season. So
Nice.
We were able to take those little those video soliloquies Pat was talking about into different corners of the theater where our audience wouldn't normally have been able to go,
Yes,
like
like-
down in
Oh.
the green room, up on the in the Masonic Temple.
Wow.
all those little corners. So
Nice.
yeah.
Now, you've been involved with this, Pat, a little bit longer than Leslie, but what have you seen over the last few years here? Are you seeing growth? What do you see as some, I want to talk about that economic impact that your company is having here in Franklin and in this whole corner of Delaware County. What are you seeing?
Well, I think we've definitely seen growth. We had really wonderful growth until 2019, then we had the pandemic. And so last year we had a bit of loss with the audience. But I think on a kind of macro level, what we see is, there are a lot of people moving up here from the city during the pandemic and looking for a destination. And what I see is that when I see real estate listings for Franklin, the Franklin Stage Company is always listed as an asset to the village and a reason why people might want to live here. And I think it is an asset, and I think it's really nice. We have some restaurants that have come in since we've been here, and I think the village is growing.
We're certainly seeing some new private investment that's happening here in Franklin. And you're right. I think part of the attraction for those new private investors is what the two of you are doing here at Franklin Stage. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you for your support and promotion of
Thank you.
the arts and local business. We really appreciate
Yes.
that.
Well, thank you. Leslie Noble, Patricia Buckley with the Franklin Stage Company. Great season. A lot of production still coming up this summer. You're located on Institute Street here in the village of Franklin. For those who want to find out and see what the schedule is and maybe reserve tickets, how can they do that?
All of it's on our website. It's very easy to reserve for the shows, and it's free. So just go to www.franklinstagecompany.org.
Visit Franklin Stage Company in Franklin.